What's up, locker room? How are you guys doing today? This is Wednesday, and I told you guys we are going to make sure we start directing these formats. And Wednesday is about you, all about you. So many things going on all around sports that maybe you want to talk about. So I'm asking you, because it's about you. You are the most important part of all days, but certainly this day, these Wednesdays, these lives. I want to engage as much as I can with the people out there to find out what they want to talk about. Because all right, Monday we're going to talk everything about Sunday football. Friday we're going to talk everything about what's going to happen on Saturday and Sunday in football. Wednesday it's a good time to talk about all the other things that you want to talk about. If you want to talk about the Cowboys beating the Commanders, you have questions you want to bring up, I'm here to discuss and answer those questions. If you want to talk about the Broncos comeback versus the Giants, because that was a great comeback, the Broncos comeback versus the Giants, or even that other stuff that Sean Payton and Russ is going through. We can talk about that. You want to talk about other sports? We got basketball now being played. We started NBA and also Shohei Ohtani is dominating like we expected him to do. Both sides of the diamond, if you want to call it, both sides of it. I mean, the man is pitching, and you see what he did the other day. Did you see that? Struck out 10, and then went 3 for 3 with 3 home runs on the other side. Man, listen, there are a lot of people out there now. With performances like what Shohei did in Game 4, you start wondering, oh my God, is he going to be considered the greatest baseball player ever? Because if he does this kind of stuff anymore, I don't know, there's a lot of great baseball players, but ain't nobody ever do this. And Babe Ruth, we gave him all kinds of love for getting out pitching a little bit because he was a home run hitter. And this dude here pitched more than a little bit, and he went 3 for 3 home runs. That's like I was trying to think the other day, like, what is that like? That's like for me, that would be like catching 20 balls, 20 passes in the Super Bowl, right? 20 passes in the Super Bowl, 4 touchdowns, and a kick return for a touchdown. That's what I consider would be the equivalent to what I saw Shohei Ohtani do in Game 4. All right, we got people coming in now, and they're starting talking, bringing me some things. Greatest ever. What's up, Playmaker? How you doing, my brother? It's good to hear from you. Hey, brother, you are a ray of light for me in life. I appreciate you saying that, man. Ken, I appreciate you saying that. I love hearing you be you never stop smiling, brother. And I'm trying not to. Let me tell you something. Man. Seriously, all things aside, that's the only thing we control out here, bro. All of us. That's the only thing we control is are we gonna smile today or not? You can. I don't care what's going on. Make yourself smile. I want to laugh all the time. Laughter brings a whole something. You know, so I know I analyze everything, but I like to deliver everything in a humorous way. So I get people. I always say to people, "I'm bullshit, but I'm not lying." I mean, I'm joking. I'm giving it to you in a way that we can laugh. But it is the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It's the gospel. It's the truth, and that's the best way to deliver everything. Love seeing you in your bag. I appreciate that, Mint Mom. I like that Eminem. Mint Mom. M&M. Appreciate you being here, hanging out with us right here. Dude, it's so much going on. Yeah, lock driver. I got you. What does the Falcons need to do to win consistently? Here we go, bro. Here we go, bro. They need to continue getting that experience because I'm telling you, when I watch this team, the Falcons, they have something special, man, and they have a special nucleus with Michael Penix, Drake London. You see how they're working in Kyle Pitts, Bijan. Bijan Robinson is a wow. It's just a wow. And they built their whole offense and everything around Bijan Robinson. Think about that. Think about the kind of talent he is. And they built his whole offense around him. A running back at a time where they're trying to excommunicate running backs and put them out and get them out. The Falcons are saying, no, we're not doing that. We're going to go all the way and build this thing around him. The Diamond Lawyer. How would you feel about trading a mid-round pick for who willing to help with this out with the secondary? By the way, my uncle is R. Riley. Which Riley? I know a million R. Rileys. I know a million. Let me tell you something. If you're talking about for the Cowboys, you're talking about for the Cowboys to help with the secondary. It depends on what I have to give up right now. I saw the Cowboys pick up and play a lot better. Let me tell you the problem with the Cowboys, and I do blame Jerry and them for this. I do blame Jerry. You had interception cornerbacks, when you had Al Harris, Deron Bland, Trayvon Diggs. These are what I call interception corners, right? So these cornerbacks are going to jump certain routes because they are reading routes and they understand the progression. Once you took Michael Parsons away, now you got cornerbacks that likes to jump routes and get interceptions. And they could get that with Michael Parsons because he put pressure on the quarterback. Now that Michael Parsons not there, and you have these cornerbacks that wants to jump routes, all we're seeing is boop, they get pump faked and now over the top. Last game they played against the Commanders, I want to give that defense a lot of credit, but I got to hold back a lot of credit because there was no Terry McLaurin, there was no Deebo Samuel. They didn't have to play those guys. Those guys were all out for the Commanders. So, yeah, it looked like they had a better game, but I have to wait to see when they play someone else and it's their first team guys playing to see what they do. Yes, we should. Yes, we should get rid of Trayvon Diggs. I'm not saying get rid of Trayvon Diggs because I'm going to tell you why I say this. I don't want to get rid of Trayvon Diggs. I want to get me somebody that can get some pressure on the quarterback and make sure that I can take advantage of Trayvon Diggs' gifts. You always hear people say defense wins championships. That's not true. But a turnover defense can win championships. So I could take it, even if you're not great at stopping the run, right? If Dallas is not great, which they are not great at stopping the run, if I got a turnover defense, a defense that could get me some turnovers and get back the ball to that offense, that's how you go win championships. That's why I'm not talking about getting rid of Trayvon Diggs. I'm talking about getting some more pressure on the quarterback and then let Trayvon Diggs do his thing so we can go and get some interceptions. Now, even though our defense is ranked low in giving up yards or ranked low and stopping the run, you can still end up winning a Super Bowl because you got those corners back there that know how to make those interceptions. But now you got to go get a Max Crosby or somebody to help get to the quarterback, even though they did a pretty good job against the Commanders. I got to give them credit for that. But so, no, I'm not really ready to get rid of Trayvon Diggs and those guys. Those are the best cornerbacks you can have. They're cornerbacks that can take the ball away and make plays. We just got to help them a little bit better on the front end. That means getting to the quarterback so they can do their work on the back end like they do. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Harris is a big. Yeah. And still can understand why we let him go. Yeah. Now you guys, you also have you guys been watching? I mean, I said something the other day. I exited out, tweeted out, whatever you want to say. When I was watching, when I was watching Seattle play the other night, when the Seahawks and the Texans were playing, when I was watching that game, I was like, oh my God. See, the Seahawks defensive line looked like the 85 Bears or the Steel Curtain Steelers. I mean, it was an incredible game from that defensive line. Incredible game. DeMarcus Lawrence looked like DeMarcus Lawrence a long time ago when we had him here. I mean, he was playing crazy great football. So I was like, man, I went to the schedule. I said to myself, I hope to pray that I was so happy to find out we did not play Seattle. I was worried because I watched that when we played. I watched that when Dallas played Green Bay. And whoa, hold on, somebody's on my phone here. What's up? Hello? Yeah, it's probably him. What? Yeah, okay, there it is. Sorry about it, guys. But yeah, what I'm saying. Look, you watched that defensive line the other day, and I was saying that's incredible. I was happy to watch, and I said, man, I went right to the schedule because I watch games like that. I told you guys I watch games saying, oh, the Cowboys got to see this, the Cowboys got to watch it, Cowboys got to go to Detroit. I saw what Detroit did to the Bucks in Detroit. That worried me for that Cowboy game because it's going to be the same kind of atmosphere and the Lions came out and Stacey Dale said it. They were playing like they were possessed. That's what the Cowboys have to face when they go in Detroit and play Lions. But when I what I saw last week, or yeah, this past Sunday with my 88 return, yeah, yeah, I know they'll be able to handle it if they just stay like they are. Let me tell you something too. The angry Cowboy fan, that mute button was on point. Let me tell you, the angry Cowboy fan. I'm gonna tell you something right now. I cannot, and that's what I was. I was an angry Cowboy fan, just like the angry Cowboy fan. I cannot believe. Oh my God, I cannot believe I didn't go to that game to watch the return of CD Lamb. I know why I did not go. And everybody was calling me to come, and it was, the Hail Mary, they would have celebrated. But, dude, I'm going to tell you the truth, man. I promise you guys, I'll always be honest with you here. I couldn't get myself. I was so crushed about the Miami loss, right? And I wasn't fully sure what the Cowboys would do. And I said to myself, I just can't take showing up at two games and losing them both. And so I said, I'm gonna just try to stay home because I tell you, when I get depressed, I just gotta lay down and try to get by it and get past it because it feels so bad to me. I'm such an upbeat guy, and I was so depressed after the Miami loss. I was so hurt, and you feel like I could have done more. I should have done more. Just that I just couldn't take it. And then when I see this game and it's going and CD's having a kind of game, and then I look up, I see a picture with CD and Drew, and I'm like, what the hell? Why were you not? I was so mad. I'm so mad about that. I couldn't believe that I was so mad about that. But that fandom thing is rough, man. Hey boy, hey. And I go through it every week. I need Miami and Dallas, and it alters my whole state. What happens with those two teams? dictate what kind of week I have. That's just my reality. And yeah, I I didn't look. I should have showed up at that game because I just to enjoy that, to see the fan base have that kind of game where you put up 44 points. I talked to you guys already about the difference. You know, Mike Evans came back for the Bucks and he didn't take off, and it affected the whole team. CD Lamb came back for the Cowboys, and everything just took off because he had early success, and everybody started feeling real good out there. Yeah, Emmett was there too. I saw Emmett. They text me, where you at? You know, Maker, where you at? Maker, why you not here, man? I said, man, I could take it. I could take it. I was worn out. I was beat down physically and emotionally. But that would have lifted me up. You know what I mean? That would have lifted me up if I had just gotten there. But I tell you, all you guys, man, I have to honor this. What you guys do as fans, that's real deal stuff, man. And I learned that since when I retired and I started, I said, man, it, it's harder being a fan than it is playing, because playing, you have I got something to do with it. Over here, I'm moving around. I got to sit here. I got to wear these things. I think I got something to do with it, but I'm just really receiving what's happening, because I'm not on the field trying to alter what happens. 30 plus points a game, and D gonna have to tighten up. Yep, yeah. Remember, I said 30 points a game at the beginning. I said that before we started the season. That's what we needed. We put up we put up 40 plus at home, 40 against Green Bay. Yeah, we've been putting up 40 points at home. And now I believe it's going to take all of it. We can stop thinking that the defense is going to make the kind of jump we saw last week. I don't know if that's possible. So when I try to assess the game last week, is it more Dallas Cowboys defense jumping up like that? No. Or is it the Commanders not having their players right now? I say it's a lot of that. But the thing I do have a little hope about the Cowboys defense is they're talking about this one player that's about to come back. And I tell you guys, I think he's the most like Mike on that team, and that's Demario Overshown. When they come back in that linebacker position, will definitely give you some help. And so I'm looking forward to seeing that help. You know what I mean? I want to see what happens when he gets back, and if the team continue growing as this defense and get him in as a leader right in the middle of that defense, then yeah, we may have some chance to go do some things. You know what I mean? Playmaker having these types of games give your defense live action reps to build on. Yes, it does. That's what we're talking about. The real live action reps to build on. But they got to get this thing going. That was good against that team, but you got to, defense needs. What if it's not 44 points? There are a lot of things that the offense did that helped limit what the defense had to worry about. Because the offense putting up so many points, so no matter what happens, the defense now, you say, okay, now we can stop worrying so much about the run, because they have to keep up with our offense, and now they're trying to throw the ball, and they don't have any of their top players playing, any of their top receivers playing. So when we look at it and say, okay, well, they played great, we still got to say, yeah, that was against receivers that are not going to really be at the level of the guys they're going to be playing. There was no Terry McLaurin, no Deebo Samuel. There will be a Cortland Sutton next week. And he's a beast of a big dude that goes up and get all passes thrown to him, made great plays in that comeback win against the Giants. You're going to have to face a young Bo Nix. You know what I mean? So what you're going to need that to get in a better situation when you're talking about this defense. And that's why I'm saying we're going to need O'Shawn to come back. Hey, I'm a 49er fan. You broke my heart many times, sir. Thank you. Yes, I did. But mad respect for you. Stay blessed. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. And I was talking to I had a driver. One of my drivers was a 49er fan. Coming out here, and he was a big 49er fan. And he get in the car and he go, "Oh my God, man!" I was like, "Excuse me." He was like, "Man, I know I'm trying to be professional, Michael, but golly, Michael." He said the same thing, dude. He said, "Man, you broke my heart, man, when you guys was in those games." And we were talking about, we had a great conversation. I was like, "Man, honestly, man, those were the greatest games ever, playing against the 49ers and understanding what was in those games, and trying to take back that 70s Cowboy things, 80 49ers thing, taking it back, making the 90s back to the Cowboy thing. We went back and forth with that thing. So it was everything playing against the 49ers. I appreciate you talking about that, man, but there was nothing. There was nothing greater than those games. There was no more. I've never had more fun playing in football games than I did in those games against the Niners. And we still talk about all of that right here to this day. Yeah, I see. Now I got somebody we're talking about, the Sean. The documentary really captured the intensity of those 49er Cowboys games. Yes, it did, Double Star 88. You know what I mean? It caught their attention. It really did capture it and talk great about it. I love that they even that they dubbed one of them. That's what it was. The 49ers rivalry. One of those episodes. It's all about the 49ers. So yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, I see something here. Do I think he was taking a shot at Russell Wilson? We're talking. He's talking about Coach Sean Payton when they won the game, and Coach Payton said some things about, they were hoping to hold off starting Dart, and people say, yeah, that means he was digging at Russell Wilson. And yes, he was. There's no getting around. Sean is a brilliant guy. Brilliant. I love Sean Payton. He's a brilliant guy, brilliant coach. But yes, he was. He was taking a dig. Russell Wilson went back saying classless and all of that stuff, called him classless, and said, I didn't know he was still bounty hunting after 15 plus years. And now he's doing it through the media. But I don't see much sting in what Russ said back. I saw a lot of sting in what Sean said to Russ, But is it really get Sean throwing shade at Russ if he's really telling the truth? There's nothing wrong with telling the truth. That's what we're talking about. Hell yeah, you wanted to face Russell Wilson. I'm glad when we played the Giants, Russell Wilson was the quarterback. Does that mean I'm throwing shade at Russell Wilson? Or does it mean I'm seeing what Dart is doing? I'm like, damn, I'm glad I'm not out here going against that dude. Because him and Scatterboo, they get that whole different thing with those two dudes on the field than him and Russ. And the whole thing is, okay, if you had a young quarterback, You had a young quarterback that couldn't run, and he's just trying to learn the passing game. That's one thing. And you got Russ that can move around a little bit more, but this dude can outrun Russ, and he's taller than Russ, and he's throwing the ball much better than Russ. And check this out. He has less than Russ had. Russ had Malik's neighbors before he got hurt. Jackson Dart never had Malik Neighbors because he got hurt. So I'm just saying, man, y'all, let's stop being sensitive and let it be what it is. Sean Payton was telling the truth. He was telling the gospel. I didn't want to. I'm glad we faced them. The Cowboys had Russ. I don't want anybody. I don't wish no bad on anybody. But if somehow, something happened and they had, go back to Russ for the Cowboys game, I'm going to just say thank you, Father. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to just say thank you, Father. That's what I'm going to say. Philly area diehard fan. Was born in 99. Been clown on in school. Combos over supporting the boys. This GP3 CD duo. Yeah, GP3 CD duo going to have Sertan and on a milk carton. Oh, wait a minute. Slow down, bro. Slow down, bro. This is a good one. My pop's #1. Hope to see you around. Let me tell y'all something. This is a good one. Because Denver feels they got two cornerbacks that can match up with anybody in Surtain and Riley Moss. And now how they play this is going to be interesting. Surtain's a big guy, lanky guy, 4 corner. Great feet. Will they put Surtain on George on George Pickens? I like that GP3. That's kind of playoff CP3. I like what you did there. I just caught that too. That GP3, dude. That's a good one. I call the Vicks. Thinking when you start making plays like that now, you can get those big names GP3. Yeah, NCD. I'm going to be using that GP3 NCD. So you get both of those guys. Do you put Surtain on the upfield guy, right? And say, these explosives are the things we're worried about. And then do you say, slow down the explosive plays and we can handle and deal with what CD gives us because he's going to handle the intermediate area of the football field. CD had 110 yards, but he had 75 in one play. So the other 4 receptions, covered a total of 35 yards. The 25 plus 10. You see what I'm saying? If he had 75 in one play, then yeah, the other 4 covered, just covered 35 yards. So unless he has those kind of explosive plays every game, God knows I hope he does, he's going to have more one of those 10, 11, 12 catch games, 140, 150 yards. GP3 is going to be having a 5 catch game, 140 yards, because if he get 5 catches, 2 of them going to be up the field. And they're going to be making big time plays. This is my daughter. Hold on. I got to call you back after. Not an emergency, right? Not an emergency. Maisha, this is my baby. My baby, y'all. She's my executive assistant, takes care of everything, So with her, right, I have to teach her and show her everything. So all of my family has to go through Maisha because I'm always busy on the road and they call Maisha, oh, we need this done. Oh, can you get a plane ticket for me here? Can you do this? Can you do that? So I'm teaching her how to deal with the family while I'm here. So by the time by the time I leave time to go to eternity, she'd had practice at dealing with them. Like I have to deal with them all the time. So that's my baby right there, y'all. I'll get back to her. But I had to ask, is it an emergency? You know what I mean? Because I have to find out it's not an emergency. Then I can get back to you. What's up, Ed Sap? I appreciate you, man. Good evening to you too, man. I appreciate you. Oh, Sap. That name, man. I was telling somebody today, you come in. Oh, let me get out of the door. I was telling somebody today, guys. Hold on. I got to clean the room here. Hold on. Thanks, honey. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. I was telling somebody today how much I miss. We were talking about, I was meeting with Netflix on some things right out here in LA. Talking about something. And we were talking about the old Thursday night show, football, when the NFL Network first had it. We first started the Thursday night games, and it was me, Dion, Marshall Falk, Warren Sapp, all on the desk on Thursday night. And dude, it was, and when we were bringing the player of the game up, it was the greatest moment because all of us were Hall of Famers, and all of us were champions. And it was me, Dion, and Marshall. I would sit in Marshall's seat because I'd come early. Your seat has your name on it. Mine got 88. Marshall Folks had 28. Dion, prime. It put prime on here. 21 on times, and he put 99 on Sap. And I would go and sit. I'm so stupid, right? I come there, the guys sitting around, and I'll come and sit in Sap's seat. And I said, this seat feel good, but not quite right. This a one ringer. And then I'll go sit in Marshall's seat and say, well, this seat fits good, feels good, fits good, but not quite right. This is a one ringer. And then I'll sit in Dion's seat and say, this seat feels good, but not quite right. It's a two ringer. And then I sit down on 88 and say, this seat fits great, feels perfect. This is a three ringer. This is my seat. Dude, I used to do that, and they'll start balling up paper. Shut up, get out here. All my boys, Dion, Marshall, they're messing with me. But we used to have so much fun. And everybody that came on that set, man, we would have players saying, man, I wanted to be player of the game so I could come sit up here with you guys. That was, yeah. I saw Ed Sapp, and it made me go way back to that. You know what I mean? Ed, you jumped me off like that because I miss working with those guys, man. Do you think Eberflus was being stubborn by trying to stay in zone 90%? And do you think Jerry got up in his gut saying, he wasn't being stubborn. He was trying to be protective because he didn't have anything to put pressure on the front end. Now he comes out of the zone and plays more man this game because he don't have the big time receivers to worry about. So he says, okay, now we can do it. We can play more man to man and take those chances. But we're dealing with the third, fourth, and fifth receiver because the top two were gone. You see what I'm saying? I appreciate it. Take that tip for cleaning the room. I appreciate you, buddy. You see what I mean? So that's what I'm saying, man. Listen, I'm still waiting on Eberflus to show me something. I promise you. Because if I would have seen another one of them games that I thought I was going to see against the Commanders last week, I myself was going to meet Eberflus at his house, and I'm going to walk in there with him And I'm saying, grab your shit. It's time to go. I was like, hey, man, we got to do something. I was going to help him pack. Take him to the airport. Get out of here. You got to get out of here. But they showed up and made plays, and he did what he needed to do this game. That they gave him a little reprieve till I see what happens in the Broncos game coming up. You see what I'm saying? They gave a little reprieve. This thing is a 7-day gig. 7-day gig. You got to win to stay in. And he has to do it again. Right now, the defense played pretty good. He's not he's not the bad side. He's not on the bad side. So I'm gonna have to give him a little leeway here. He got 7 days to show me that was not this old commercial we used to watch. And you guys remember this commercial? Well, some of you do if you're old enough. They used to have somebody singing, and then they'll play music for you again. And then they ask you, is that live or is that Memorex? Like, was that a true live voice or was that a recorded voice on a tape they called Memorex? So you started saying, is it live or is it Memorex? And that's what we need to know about that defense. Was that live or was that Memorex? Was that real or was that not? And I need to know if that's what he's going to be. Yeah, that was a funny commercial. That was a great commercial. Live or Memorex. They just put that up for me, Nathan. Gee, just drop that thing up there, man. It was a good one. Blessed evening. It is a blessed evening. If it takes him this long to make changes to schemes, he certainly is not making changes on the fly during games. Yeah, and I'm telling you again, it took him this long to make changes to scheme because he has to be worried about. I'd rather have guys. Let me. I don't know how to share this. Yeah, I do know how to say it. I'd rather you walk the ball down the field slowly and give me a chance to make a play and give your offense more chances to have bad plays than play man all over the field and give up a lot of big plays down the field. You see, when you're going man to man everywhere all the time and you don't have the talent to get to a quarterback, to make him get rid of the ball quickly, man, you understand it's a dangerous thing. You got everybody running with the receivers, and we got nobody getting to the quarterback. So the quarterback can have two options. I see somebody open, I can hit him. If they're not open, I'm going to take off running and run for 14, 15, 16 yards. You remember early in the season, that's exactly what was happening. How did Philly beat us? Jalen Hurts running. That's how we lost that game. And you got to be careful. You got to be careful with that. If you ask me, I'd rather you play zone and keep everything in front of you and make you walk the ball down the field slowly than playing too much man and give you too many explosive plays. We got to be careful about that. What should boys do with Diggs? Keep getting them more and more healthy. That's another thing. I don't think that Diggs is totally healthy. I know he's not a zone corner. Not a zone corner. Diggs a man. He's a man-to-man risk taker. He just doesn't have the people he need up front to make his risk taking count like it did before. You know what I mean? Do you think Puka is the best wide receiver right now, dude? I love Puka Nacua. Would I say he's the best receiver right now? You remember Cooper Kupp was putting up numbers like this in that system, because that system has a lot to do with it, and because it gives the receiver so many great opportunities. And the game is built around that receiver. When they took Cooper Kupp out and they put in Puka, Puka is a more gifted receiver. He's more talented than Cooper Kupp. He's more physically talented, and shoulders down, I'm saying, and he thinks the game like Cooper Kupp shoulders up makes him devastating. Now, to call him the best in the game right now with Justin Jefferson running the same system and doing some of the same things, and you saw the season he's had. Jamar Chase, you saw the season he's had. He's had, Triple Crown season. I will put him up there. I will put him up there with the top receivers. I'll put Justin Jefferson. I'm going to put in the Jamar Chase, the CD Lambs, and then right after that, I'm going to put in Puka, the Puka Nakua, and AJ Brown. I see the talent in AJ Brown, but the numbers for this year is not there. I'm going to tell you what. Right now, when I round that thing out, my fifth receiver, if I'm going to go Justin, Jamar, CD, Puka, number 5, you guys know who that is? Let me see if you will guess who I'm going to put in number 5. And I'm going to tell you something. This dude is a wow. Nah. Think about it. He's a wow right now. You hit it right on the head. Yeah, buddy. I see you, Nathan. You hit that nail on the head. You hammered her right home. JSN is in. That's the one I'm calling y'all right now. JSN is lighting it up. I don't care what you say. JSN, dude, it's like, oh my God. And you're going to watch this for a while, man. Seattle has something here. I told you guys way back then, I was the only one that saw Cooper Kupp going to Seattle. And I said, oh my God, if Cooper Kupp gets to Seattle, remember, JSN was doing some of those things in the middle of the field. But this dude out, he's so fast. He runs great cuts. He has great explosion. I saw his interview after the game. He loves the game. He loves the game. I don't want to get Pickens in there. It's so funny. Pickens is making a move to come up in there. But right now, my 5th has to be JSN. But George Pickens is making a bid to get up in here. And let me tell you this too. The way he's played with the absence of CD and then incorporating CD back in to continue to put up numbers. He had 4 for 82 in the game against the Commanders, and he didn't get a chance to score a touchdown, and he was on a run like 4 straight games with a touchdown. Everybody now universally has already said George Pickens is the number 1 receiver because now they're seeing it. Here again, I'm throwing this out here early as I don't know what. Because I heard some people, Stephen A. and them talking about it. Well, Jerry Jones is going to have to go and negotiate with David Mugler, again. So he didn't work it out with Michael Parsons. What do you think he has to go back to for George Pickens? And I was like, You can go and be Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, all you want, buddy. Where, I'm leaving. I'm happy to get out of here. George Pickens will be slapped. Boy, you'd be out of your mind. I don't give a damn who my agent is if I'm George Pickens. I'm telling him we are not leaving this quarterback in this situation. I don't care what you say. And I'm not about to let whatever they had going on between them with Michael Parsons get in my money's way. Because you can go somewhere else and land on another team. You don't have that quarterback. And you may get 2 years of great money. But you'll never but then you're going to never get it again. Because they're going to say when it came time for you to be the main guy, you didn't perform. And they will not be telling you that you didn't perform because you didn't get the quarterback. They're not going to even care about that. They will only care that you did not perform. He's been stuck in purgatory without a quarterback a long time. First time, and now you find a quarterback. You think I'm finna let an argument or some kind of bad blood between an agent and the team get in the way of me and this quarterback? Shh, get out of my face. That's what I'm saying. Get out of my face with all of that. If I'm GP3, no. We can all sit in this room together, and I'm going to watch y'all talk, but we going to talk civil, and we going to talk about my money, and I ain't going to hear about none of y'all personal shit going on around here. That's what I'm going to be sitting up in there saying, because I'm not leaving this quarterback, and I'm not leaving this opportunity. And dude, when you see CD and George together, CD came back and had 110 yards. George, first time, didn't score. He had 82 yards. But when they were doing the interview after the game, George was over there playing with him and picking, and CD said, "Yo, that's my boy. That's my dude." You don't find that, dog. You don't find that. I'm just telling you, you don't find it. I told Alvin Harper the same thing. I wanted him to stay. I said, man, we can do this for the next 10 years together. Why go over there and split up? And you know what I mean? I just hope George don't make that bad decision. That's all I'm saying. Now I heard somebody say also when I was driving the other day in Dallas, well, if it came down to making a choice and you had to lose one, they were actually saying let CD Lamb go and keep George Pickens. Of course, I can't go that far. I can't go that far, you know what I mean? We need CD Lamb because these two are unique receivers, and that's what reminds me of me and Alvin Harper. Pickens, oh my God, I gotta tell y'all this. Pickens going up the field is exceptional. Alvin Harper was like that. I don't know if anyone really understands what it takes to make that play he made along the sideline. Oh. That catch he made along the sidelines where his lower body went dead. He had to drop all actions in his lower body while keeping all actions moving with your upper body. It's equivalent to if I told you, pat your head and rub your stomach. That's a hard thing for a lot of people to do. Because you run with your full body. Now I'm telling my lower body, stop running. And telling my upper body, keep the motion. And I to go catch that ball and go dead waist down. I don't know if there's, I'm trying to think who else could make that play in the NFL right now. I don't know many people that can make that play in the NFL right now. I certainly don't know many that can, go make that George can leave Dallas and go to that can make that throw. It had to be a perfect throw drop in the bucket like a Steph Curry 3-pointer, up and over and down, and for him to make it. And so it was just incredible. Yeah, I too, guys. I'm too. I would love to see. I remember when it could have been Michael Irvin and Randy Moss duo. I remember that too. Don't make me go to that crybaby. Don't make me start that. That was after I had lost Alvin. And yeah. And I'm going to tell you guys about that. Now, I spent some time with Randy Moss and Jerry, and we had told Randy we were going to draft him. And I talked to him, and we were going to be teammates. And so I was getting to know him, and I wanted him to come to Dallas so bad. And then the media were getting on Jerry because they knew we were going to draft Randy. And they were saying, oh, my God, were you going to draft Randy and have him with Michael Irvin? And, Randy had some red flags. And now you're going to put him with Michael. Oh, my God, what's going to happen? So we didn't draft him. And we got Greg Ellis that year. Randy was hurt. He was crushed. Every time we played him, he put it on us. Every time. He was looking forward to playing the Cowboys. And I would be sitting there looking at him, man. And he was like, y'all almost lied to me, boy. I'm going to make y'all pay. Y'all lied to me. Jerry cheered on me. I wanted you here. You know, Randy could have extended my career. You know what I mean? To have that dude, that big body, man, it would have been crazy, man. It really would have been crazy. Dude, let me tell y'all something. You guys are right, too. Yeah. Whoa. Double star playmaker. You had Jimmy Smith. He was Jimmy Smith. Right. With Jimmy Smith. I think Jimmy Smith, who's up for the Hall of Fame, had he not gotten hurt. I think he. First of all, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Now, let me give y'all the Jimmy Smith story so you understand, double star, what happened. Jimmy Smith was a beast. I tell people, as long as I was in Dallas, every year we drafted a receiver in the first or second. Every year. I'm all everything. Why are we drafting receivers in the first and second round every year? It's just what the game is doing, you know. So every year, Alvin Harper came in, Kevin Williams, Alexander Wright came in, Jimmy Smith came in. All of these players came in. Jimmy Smith, we call smooth. He was so smooth, man, smoothest route runner I've ever seen. And he was so just effortlessly fluid. We were playing, so funny, the Commanders, they just played the Commanders. We were playing the Washington, we were playing the Redskins. They were called the Redskins at the time. We were playing Washington. And Darryl Green and I was going at it pretty good. You know, and even when we had a backside run, I'm coming off the ball. I'm all hit Darryl, and it's a backside run. Emmett's way over there running. I should just get in front of him and hold him up and keep him out here. But I'm just being dirty because he's a small guy that can outrun me. I was taking a boxer's mentality. I said, okay, I'm going to just keep hitting him and hitting him. I'm going to wear down his legs. Every time I kept hitting. So Darryl, being the good Christian man he is, he said to me, hey, man, listen, man, you better stop, man. I'm telling you, you're going to make me do something. Don't make me do something to you, man. I was like, like I care about that. Yeah, I lied right back. Going across his head again, right? So I played. I had this one little helmet on, one little bar going across here, and I played low when I got ready to come off the ball. I'm this low, right? So Darryl said, okay, man, I told you to stop, man. I ain't telling you no more. Stop. You're playing dirty. I said, hey, dirty, I'm playing hard, man. I ain't got time for that. He said, okay. So then the next play, he comes up like he's about to run out. He's covering me like he's going to run out, but he catches the snap. Set up, and he comes right up under that little bar. Jam my nose up, man. Blow. Start itching, just start gushing out. I said, oh, snap. I said, okay. I said, good. He said, no, I'm sorry, man. I mean that, man. I told you to stop, man. I mean that, man. I mean. I said, okay. I'll be right back. I leave and go to the sideline. This is a true story, right? This is a true story. I'm like this, and they're putting gauze up my nose, right? Putting gauze up my nose, and the blood's all coming out. Hubbard Alexander was the receiver coach, right? Jimmy Smith backed me up. And Jimmy was right here. And while they're cutting these gauze, trying to stop the bleeding up my nose, they looked at Jimmy and say, Jimmy, get your helmet. You're in the game. I love Jimmy, but he was young at the time. And my nose on the side of my face with blood gushing everywhere. Jimmy looked. Jimmy said, who? Me? Get in the game, boy. Get out of here. Get in that game right now. Jimmy, But he didn't go in the game. That was it. They cut him. They sent him to Jacksonville, or they cut him and went to Jacksonville. However it went, all I know is Jimmy did not go in that game. And when I talked to him, because he's my boy, I talked to him. He said, "Man, going to Jacksonville was the best thing because he realized this is my last chance. I got to make it happen right now. This is my last chance." So he had to put down any thoughts, any fears he had. He went to Jacksonville, and then you guys know the rest of the story. He get with Keenan McCardell, who's coaching right now. Keenan McCardell and Mark Brunell, and they get a great thing going. And I'm saying Jimmy, who's up for the Hall of Fame, my boy Jimmy Smith, should get in the Hall of Fame because what a career he turned it around like that. After seeing and saying, who going to the game? I'm not going to the game. To dominating. They were dominating when he was in Jacksonville, man. That receiving core they had with Burnell and Mark Burnell. And I do think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I do think he cashed them brain checks from the man. Yeah, man. It was crazy. Dude, I'm telling you something. It was crazy to see it. But the game was played so different then. Think about that. Right? Guys can hit you like that. You come over. It was all part of the game. And so Jimmy saw that and he was like, I'm not. I wasn't ready to go in. But when he did go in, what a great player he turned out to be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, MJD also. Yep. MJD was a bad boy too, man. Yeah, they had some talent. Fred Taylor in that backfield, Mercedes Lewis. I'm telling y'all, dude, they had some talent, dude. That Jacksonville team, they were good teams. They were good teams. I enjoyed those games, man. I enjoyed those games. They were great. They were great games, guys. They really was. So yeah, Mr. Irvin, how important was Novacek on the Super Bowl team? Great question. Because let me tell you something. Jay was the key. Jay was really Troy's safety blanket, but Jay played the game a different way. Jay wasn't going to outrun anybody. It was all the setup. He did some of that Travis Kelce stuff. He would just walk off the line of scrimmage, basically, and wait till he knew Troy was ready to throw the ball and then break one way or the other. I used to go in the game because Jay would tell dudes sometimes, we get in the game, we call 585, 545. That means I'm going to run a deep 15, right, 17 back to 15 out. And Troy's going to look over there. It's one-on-one, he's going to read. If it's one-on-one, he's going to throw him in the ball. If it's not, if I'm not open, he'll start reading and come down to Jade and go backside to Hart. So Jay would sometimes break the huddle and be like, hey, telling the DB, he's running a deep out. He want cover that so I can get some passes. Because, Jay was my boy. We sat next to each other, so we joked around all the time. But Jay would literally tell him, he's going to run a deep out. Cover the deep out so I can catch a pass. And then I'll run the deep out, catch it. And we're walking back. And he's like, dude, I told you when he was running, you got to cover it, So, yeah, man, Jay was crucial, man. I appreciate you asking about my boy, man, Jay. I love that dude. And you're right. We would absolutely. I was telling somebody that the other day how, we were at a place where we felt so we knew there's no one going to stop us on offense. That if I watch the game, I watched an earlier game, and Jerry Rice would go and have 170 yards. We're playing the game, and we're up 2 touchdowns, right? And I have 120 yards. And the team, the opposite team is driving while our defense is driving on our defense. I'm over on the sideline saying, oh, please score. Please, I hope this team scores. I knew if the team scored, we can come back and score again. I just wanted to make sure we were going to keep passing the ball Because if they didn't score, we're already up 14. Now we just gonna hand this thing off to Emmett and dry this thing up. But if they go score and come back to a 7-point game, I'm back involved now. I can go get Jerry Rice. If I got 120, I can get 50 yards on this drive. See my mentality? So I welcome the tight game. I welcome the pressure games. That's what we did. We welcome those games. A lot of people don't welcome those games. They don't want that pressure to be on you like that. You know what I mean? But what do you mean the disrespect to Woodson is criminal? What disrespect? And which Woodson? There's so many Woodsons out there. Darren Woodson getting in the Hall of Fame, that disrespect is criminal right now. Rod Woodson, which Charles Woodson, which Woodson are you talking about? But yeah, make no mistakes about it. Yeah, I'm telling you, dude. Hey, is that come on being service? Do you think Dallas will get Max Crosby? I hope so. I hope so. I love Max Crosby. I love him as a dude. Darren not getting in. Yeah, I'm with you, Bill. Darren, it is criminal. It is criminal. And I'm going to come back to that. But now, I love Max Crosby. I appreciate the kind of player he is. He would be great for a Dallas Cowboys locker room if they can make that happen. There's no doubt. I watched his commitment to Antonio Pierce when he was there. Those kind of guys the Cowboys can use in a locker room because those are the kind of guys that bring everybody together. So yeah, I do believe that Max Crosby would be a big get for the Dallas Cowboys if they can get him. The Darren Woodson thing is criminal. I wouldn't mind that dude from the U2. Wait, Nathan, don't throw me off to that Nathan. Throwing out Jalen Phillips. I wouldn't mind him either. That brother from the U right there. You're gonna bring him in here too, and I know what he made of. That would be great to get him right now for the Dallas Cowboys. Absolutely. But the Darren Woodson thing is criminal because of this. Darren Woodson is the all-time leading tackler for the Dallas Cowboys. That means if any other Dallas Cowboy is in the Hall of Fame for defense, how is Darren Woodson not in the Hall? If you got any other Dallas Cowboy defensive player in the Hall of Fame, because you can't talk about Darren Woodson's numbers if he's an all-time lead tackler. You can't talk about all his accomplishment if he's won that many Super Bowls. You're the all-time leading tackler and you won that many Super Bowls, and you got other guys that had less tackles and certainly less Super Bowls that are in the Hall of Fame, and you are not. That's criminal. And we got to get somehow, some way, Darren Woodson in that Hall of Fame. That's just the reality of it. But keep talking about it. That's exactly what we will do. I can't believe an hour has gone by already as we sat here and talked. Me and my son always watching your show, Dallas Cowboys Live. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. And it is facts. I don't know how the hell can these people sit on their tails and know what they know and looking at the numbers and seeing the numbers and not put Darren Woodson in the Hall of Fame. It is. Well, that's the only word I could use. It is criminal. Absolutely criminal. Your boy Coolio 88 is asking me what cornerback made me mad. The only cornerback that made me mad was who's your boy? Robert Massey. Robert Massey was the only cornerback. Robert Massey was the first client for Drew Rosenhaus. Drew Rosenhaus and I was best friends in college. Drew's my boy. I told you guys, maybe I told you guys, I don't know if I told you. I was the one that got Drew Rosenhaus to go into being a sports agent. He wanted to be like Mel Kiper. He knew everybody. And I was like, no. Is it get dark in here? Hold on, I'm a brother, man. Let me see something here. Hold on. And then, because I know we're talking to sundown over here, and I want to make sure I get some lights. But yeah. So as Drew's friend, as his best friend, I'm trying to get him in the agent business. I hooked him up with my agent and got him in. And I said to him, I said, listen, man. Here's what you should be doing. Mel Kiper, man, you know Mel Kiper. You help players. He was, a lawyer, a law student, and helped me in school and everything. Helped me with some of the things that I need to do in school. He was great, man. And I got him to be an agent. His first client, Robert Massey. I used to help him get that client, so I'd call in Robert all the time. And Robert Massey was, I think, UNC. He was just so happy to be talking to me. And I was telling him all of my game plan. Listen, the first play, I like to come up on me. I like to come up on this chin so you can feel my weight. You can feel how heavy I am, how strong I am. I told him all of these things. And then I never thought about it. I was just thinking about helping Drew. I never thought about one day he's going to be in the NFL. And he got drafted by the New Orleans Saints. And every time I played him, I'm telling you guys, I'd have 140 yards on a Darrell Green. I'll come back with 120 yards on a Deion Sanders, and then play Robert Massey and get one catch for 5 yards because my mind was gone. I thought, I told this guy all my secrets, and he played with them. Like the first play, he would come up on me, and he knew I wanted to film, I wanted to touch him, and then he'll back out and say, I ain't going for that, Mike. I should have never done that. So that was one of the guys that gave me the toughest time. Michael, this channel on YouTube is so amazing. It's so real. Not like all the other channels. It feels pure and real. I appreciate that, man. Don't change that. And that's what I want. I appreciate you saying that, Irvin, because that's the real deal. That's the reason I am here, bar none. I don't care what happens anywhere else, what else we do. We're going to always keep it. As these young people said, a buck right here. We're going to keep it a buck. It's the only thing that rise above anything and everything is authenticity. And we will keep it a buck right here. And like you said, Ronnie Gibson, we're going to keep it so real. So real. And we'll keep having conversations just like this. All right, I got to go and try to get on an airplane and get back to Dallas. Doom, I appreciate that, man. 100% real over here. Playmaker, keep it 100. I appreciate it. And I'm talking about with all things and everything. I want to make sure on all levels, all things that we talk about, every team we talk about, all of it, right here in the locker room, we will always keep it a buck. I appreciate you guys joining me. I'll see you and talk with you Friday. Oh, what's that? One last one. Playmaker, have a great night. Safe travel. I'm going to interview one of these days. I'm going to set that up for you one of these days. You make sure you inbox us, and I'll definitely set that up for you for being good peeps. I appreciate you guys, man. Listen, y'all talk about it, think about it. I'm telling you, I don't know that we're talking enough about what we saw with Shohei Ohtani. It's simply one of the greatest performances by an athlete we've ever seen. And we have to honor that man for what he did. My peeps here in the locker room, God bless you guys. I will be chatting with you guys again Friday after we do this Thursday night football game. And I'm gonna tell you, I can't wait till Friday. I can't wait to talk about the Aaron Rodgers playing against the Packers this week. That's going to be very interesting, my peeps. All right, peeps. All the love here from LA. I got to get back on that track and get back towards Dallas. God bless, and let's chat.